What is up, people? This is me, Spec Football 24 here, giving my thoughts on the rest of the NFL draft. I did say that I was going to address it in the description, said that I was going to talk about the second round, and probably I'll get to the seventh in some cases because there's some seventh rounders that have been steals for the Eagles, possibly, and even some for the fifth rounder. So let me get to it right now. The third round, the Eagles picked up Isaac Siumalu, offensive lineman, Oregon State. He's probably going to play guard. He's most likely going to play guard right next to Jason Kelsey. So that's a pretty good pick for the Eagles to add, some depth or some competition at the offensive guard spot. So there's not really, not really much I have to get mad with from that. For the fifth round, the Eagles pick up Wendell Smallwood, running back from West Virginia. I must say, this guy was getting hell for his older tweets on Twitter, and it's because of that the Eagles fans they basically made him delete his Twitter account, which is pretty funny in my eyes because of the stuff that he was saying. Understandably, he was younger, but at the same time, it's just crazy. Like, wow, I can't believe you were saying all this kind of stuff when you was younger. Fifth round, another fifth round pick. The Eagles pick up Halapuli Vaditati, I guess Vitai, I guess that's how you pronounce his first name. Yeah, they picked him up, the offensive tackle from TCU. This is good to have because he can develop behind Jason Peters. Yeah, Jason Peters, he only has a couple years left, so he might as well take those couple of years and learn from one of the best offensive tackles in, for a long time. I mean, when Jason Peters, we're gonna miss him, and we hope that this guy, takes over very, very well for the Eagles. So yeah, for that, in the sixth round, the Eagles pick up Blake Countess, defensive back, Auburn. This guy, there's not much for me to say about him besides a lot of people saying that he's a potential steal because of how good he can cover and because of how possibly good he can hit. The only thing I can remember from Blake Countess was him getting his ass run over by Leonard Fournette, and I can't wait for the 2017 draft just for that guy alone. See what team's gonna go to. For the seventh round, it said the Eagles pick up some possible steals. One from Jalen Mills, safety LSU. They said this guy was supposed to be picked up in the second or third round. So, yeah, they said the only reason why he dropped that far was because of issues involving domestic violence. I have this, but they did say that was only a couple years back, and after that, he has been out of trouble since. Now, if Jalen Mills can stay out of trouble, if he can stay out of trouble, then we'll see for sure if he's really, really that big of a steal. Because I'm hearing nothing but praise when it goes to Jalen Mills. I even have a friend who's basically I would say a New Orleans sports fan. He not only likes the Saints, he likes LSU, likes the all teams that's New Orleans. So yeah, I'll take his word for it. And even Mel Kiper himself says that the Eagles got a second round talent in the seventh round. But we'll find out for sure how he does when the preseason rolls around or when the regular season rolls around. They might have some key positions for him, like for him being in a dime or him being in a slot. Another potential still that the Eagles are talking, that Eagles fans or everyone else is talking about is Alex McAllister, defensive end from Florida. I'll say for sure, I don't know too much about the guy. The only thing I can base off is just highlights. The same thing for Jalen Mills. The only thing I can base off is highlights. But for me, I'm holding judgment until I could see these guys play. The Eagles' final pick is Joe Walker, linebacker from Oregon. I have a feeling he's just going to be a depth linebacker or just a guy used for the special teams. Again, I don't know much about him. Now, for the rest of the draft, what do I think about the rest of the draft? Well, pretty simple. The Jacksonville Jaguars had and I mean the, best draft of any NFL team by far. By far. I mean, just along with you picking up Jalen Ramsey in the first and then the Cowboys passing on not only Jalen Ramsey, but Miles Jack, and you pick him up too? Man, you couldn't ask for a better way to have your draft go. The Jacksonville Jaguars are looking really, really scary. I mean, scary. No joke. In 3 years' time, the Jacksonville Jaguars are probably going to be a Super Bowl contending team. If they're not now, then they're going to be pretty soon. That's one thing you need to keep in mind with that, people. The Jacksonville Jaguars in a couple of years, they're not playing. They're not. So keep a lookout for them. Not only that, the Baltimore Ravens, they got a potentially good running back in Kenneth Dixon. I believe it was them that picked up Kenneth Dixon. If not them, I think they picked up CJ Prosise. Whoever picked up those two running backs, trust me, you have a good running back for the future. Those two guys are very good, and whoever picked up Kenneth Dixon in the fourth round, you got yourself a steal. Fourth, fifth round, you got yourself a steal. Because that dude, he was a monster over there at college. Straight monster. So it's not gonna surprise me in the slightest when he ends up starting and when he ends up snapping. Another team that got a good running back. I'll have to say, I think it's the Seattle Seahawks that picked up Alex Collins. That dude, they said that he was like Marshawn Lynch in a way. I'd be like, well, maybe he is, but we'll find out for sure. Because that guy, he reminds me a little bit of him with the way how he breaks tackles and he just trucks through everybody, plain and simple. So yeah, the running backs in this class, they're not too shabby, but they won't be around the same level as the 2017 running back class. That 2017 running back class, as I said before, they're gonna have Nick Chubb, they're gonna have Christian McCaffrey, Ed McCaffrey's son, they're gonna have Leonard Fournette, they're gonna have Dalvin Cook. Those guys, not all of them are gonna be first rounders. Some of those guys are gonna be second rounders, and if they are second rounders, the only ones I'll hope to be in the second round is Christian McCaffrey and I guess Nick Chubb. That's the only problems with Nick Chubb is injury issues, and I hope those are his only concerns because I said it before. I said I trust in our doctors completely. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if we picked up Miles Jack because we all know if that dude is healthy, he's gonna change. He's a game changer if he's healthy. You could somewhat say the same for uh Nick Chubb if he's healthy because he's a good running back. You know, he sat behind. I wouldn't say he sat behind Todd Gurley, but more like he got his fair share of carries when Todd Gurley was there. But you know, that guy's looking pretty good coming up for the 2017 draft. And as I said before, don't get me started on Leonard Fournette. That dude is a monster waiting to take the NFL by storm. So yeah, some wide receivers. If I'll have to say the best story of the draft, it will have to be not only the Minnesota Vikings picking up Laquan Treadwell, their wide receiver core is looking scary too when you look at it in hindsight. If this one potential steal can play as well as he did in Germany, they not only picked up Laquan Treadwell, who's like a 6'5" receiver. They picked up Mo Boringer, I think this is his name. Mo is something like that. I'll just call him Mobo. You know that German athlete, that German guy that everybody was saying he's potential next Randy Moss or something like that. German Randy Moss. If he plays this potential like he played over there at Germany, then the Vikings are looking scary. I keep a lookout for them as well. And that's pretty much it. That's all we have to talk about from there. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks Dallas Cowboys for skipping up on both Jalen Ramsey and Miles Jack. I said this. I said it on the tweet. I said it on a tweet. I said it on the Being Green Nation comment. I'll say it from this. The Dallas Cowboys are going to rue the day that they passed on Jalen Ramsey and Miles Jack. And this is looking exactly the case if those two play to their top potential. We already know Jalen Ramsey just might, but Miles Jack, if that dude is healthy, oh my God. Jaguars fans, they deserve better, and they sure as hell got better in this draft. Whoever's the GM of that place, whoever's the GM over there, you deserve a round of applause. On the highest degree, deserve a round of applause. They're looking scary. That's all I gotta say, people. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.